Headline coming out today, government documents showing that U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi sold at least $1 million worth of Trump media shares the day the president announced sweeping tariffs. I can only imagine there are legal and, of course, ethical questions to this.
There are, and those have already started to be raised on Capitol Hill today by Democratic congressmen and senators. Certainly more to come in the Democratic investigations front, but really what the crux of this is that on April 2nd, which was President Trump called it Liberation Day, where he announced that sweeping set of tariffs, Attorney General Bondi sold at least $1 million and up to what she said she had in December, which is about $4 million of Trump Media Company stock. That company owns Truth Social and a number of other projects that the company is working on to kind of make President Trump's brand online continue to flourish. And she was a consultant on that project before the election and before she was named as Attorney General and confirmed earlier this year. And yes, traditionally you would divest that, but to do the divest shares, especially in the millions of dollars, of something that belongs to President Trump. But I think you have to remember you're doing it on a day where the stocks tanked across the board.
Wow, right? And you're scratching your head like, wow. As you get older, you realize that you can go to college and do all the right things and cross your T's, dot your I's, and do the biblical part of do unto others as they would have them do unto you. And then you get in your 30s and 40s when you're out there on that in that daily grind, and you see that the people that really push ethics and morals and stuff like that, you see them getting the hookup, and you're wondering how I'm doing, coming in early, staying late, working weekends, doing overtime. I thought I was doing real good for the company, that my bonus check would reflect it sometime. But yet these little groups, they always get the ching. The difference between the people that you work with and people like who are in public office, the people in public office, there are people who can expose things or shine a light on those things. And many people are like, I won't even run for office because my skeletons, when you open up the closet, right, you can definitely get stampeded upon. So I'm sure that's why a lot of people don't even run for office. But we don't know exactly what happened with the Bondi thing. I mean, the media has covered the reports. I, for one, have looked at the numbers. Unless I can see the ticker tape minute by minute on the stock, I don't think she did too bad. My question is, when she sold them, did she go back and buy? And in other words, if she dumped them, which she did she dump and buy? And now she's smiling all the way to the bank. Let me continue here. I got some things to show you guys.
So what we know is that on April 2nd, she sold between $1 and $5 million in shares of Trump Media, which is the president's social media company. Also, that's exact same day after the stock market closed, the president from the White House had a press conference where he announced his Liberation Day tariffs. The market was reeling afterwards. Trump Media fell 13% in the days that followed, and by selling on April 2nd, the Attorney General avoided those losses on what was a massive stock sale.
So do we know what kind of losses she might have avoided?
Up to 13% of that $1 to $5 million.
So that's what they're saying. that she saved, you know, she said a little bit. Let's hear that part again.
She might have avoided?
Up to 13% of that $1 to $5 million. So we're not talking about a small amount of money here.
You report it's unclear whether.
So we round down. 10% of $1 million is 100,000, right? Ching ching. Is my math right? 10% of $1 million? Last but not least, here's an analysis. Then we're gonna dive a little bit deep because I want to show you guys something.
We've now seen the financial disclosures. They were first uncovered by ProPublica, and they were confirmed by Newsweek. Bondi dumped somewhere between $1 and $5 million worth of shares in Trump's own media company, the Trump Media and Technology Group, hours before markets reacted to Trump's Liberation Day tariffs. The next day, Trump media stock dropped more than 10%. Now, the disclosures don't specify exactly what time she sold the shares. We have to look at it based on the information we have now. And based on the information we have now, this reeks of insider trading. Pam Bondi is someone who was gifted nearly $3 million in Trump media shares through a very shady SPAC deal. Takes a cabinet level job.
Then takes the job with Trump. I'm telling y'all, the loyalty's off the chain. Now, I found Trump Media and Technology Group. Now, let me just say that allegedly there's loyalty now because she was blessed. She was gifted those stocks. And evidently she decided to sell. With my research, I did the little research. She could have sold those stock a long time ago. But to do it within hours made it suspicious. Now, they're saying the 2nd of April. Okay, let's look at that here. April 2nd, the stock was at 1876. And then it went down to the lowest of 1666. So I don't know where to get that 10% at. Help me out here. I don't know it, but I do know one thing. Look at this here. It says 1666 a share on April 8th. But then on April 24th, it ballooned to 26. So I'm equally concerned about, did she sell and then buy the same day? Did she buy the dip? Because it went up 8 points. That's not a bad day. Huh? What's the guy who blows the saxophone? That's not a bad day. Or was that Jimmy Durante? Jimmy Durante had that raspy voice too. But yeah, the guy who blew the saxophone. Hello, darling. Right? That's not a bad day. 8%. Now, you know, look, the politicians are all over it already. But I don't think nothing's gonna happen. I think part of this thing in American politics is if you in the right place at the right time with the right people and they still got use for you, they're gonna wash their hands. The investigation don't mean nothing. But if they want out their use for you and you ain't been playing the game right, they might let you fall on the sword. Now, I'm not saying she did anything ethically. I'm just saying it is suspicious. And she knew into the game, so hey, I just don't think that anything gonna happen. But we need to go into the past because this is a Republican thing. You think? No, not really. Remember her? Miss Fancy Nancy? Well, her husband back in the day, he was doing the chip thing, that Taiwan thing. I forgot exactly what day she went over there. I know she went over there and it was she didn't have the blessing of the White House, but she went to Taiwan to check on her investment, allegedly. The timing was suspicious, but check this out, what her husband did before the chips went down in the stock market.
Champagne. Turns out her husband bought millions in call options of the chip maker NVIDIA about a year ago. Those are fancy and speculative ways on betting a stock will go up significantly. It comes as no surprise his purchase came just slightly before word leaked out that the chips bill, the billions of dollars in handouts, would become a thing. He now claims he sold some of the stock for a loss. We can say the same because it's unclear exactly how much he made on the trades before or how much of the stock he still owns because of disclosure laws. Dan O'Donnell wishes he had such great stock picking ability. Otherwise, he would not be having to spend the afternoon with us. It just proves everything that's terrible about Washington.
Yes, it absolutely does. Paul Pelosi turns out to be the absolute best trader since Hillary Clinton made all that money in cattle futures all those years ago. Clearly, Leland, he was operating on some sort of knowledge that the average investor wouldn't have. For someone outside of government who's not married to the Speaker of the House, we call that sort of thing insider trading. So
the question is that what Miss Bondi had? Did she have a tip? I mean, what are the odds? You can roll dice from now till Old Testament time, right? That's way back. And the odds are you wouldn't be selling or buying stock before a dip or before a rise. So again, I just don't think that's gonna come up. I just thought I'd do a video on it. This is going to be a keepsake of mine because Trump has been, and I said this about a month ago, ever since he started this tariff thing, I am seeing a pattern. I spoke it, I'm going to keep speaking on it. And the pattern is, he knows when he makes a move, it's going to fluctuate. And I believe that's the unannounced game and the blessing for those who are close to him. I'm just going to say allegedly. But that's how I perceive the game is being played. I believe they've had this plan, and this is what binds people to you, people. That's the real world. This is what binds, this is what breeds loyalty. This is what makes you, when you see something bad or you question how a person is rolling, you're like, I had a boss like that. I knew I had him in some logic, and my boss would go, or well, Pearson, yeah, right. You knew what I told you is true, but there's some money on the line, and there's some image something, and my boss will, That's the real world, people. Put in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. You got bosses and friends like that. That's the real game. And it's, after a while you can see through it. Am I saying that that's exactly what Trump is doing? Well, I'm saying allegedly. And what I'm saying is that this is how you breed loyalty. Because you are making decisions which can assist someone without saying it's a quid pro quo. You can just whisper in their ear, and they do what they got to do in the stock world. And that is the hidden world, one of the hidden worlds of finance that you and I do not have access to. However, we watch it and we say, And then you say, well, should I go to somebody? And then you reminisce on what I just said. The boss go, well, I'm done, y'all. If anything, Bondi gonna be looked at a certain way. As long as she don't do it anytime soon, man, it was a good day. I forgot what rapper that was. Was that Ice Cube? He said it was a good day. Allegedly. I'm out.